represent the motion in polar coordinates. Polar coordinates means we have to include here the motion is the theta is changing. So you will learn the polar coordinates later. So I can just give what is a polar. There are three types of coordinate system mainly. One is the our XY Cartesian coordinate system, that is XY. The other is the cylindrical coordinate system, and the third one is the spherical polar coordinate system. So if we are dealing with this circular motion, the motion in a sphere, spherical motion or circular motion, etc., it is better to go for the polar coordinates. So we can say what we can just take the position vector r and one of the theta here, one of the angle here that is changing while during the circular motion or any motion which contains any rotational motion, there may be change of theta. So we can we can represent this motion with the polar coordinates. So the position of the particle at time t is given by the coordinates r, theta, and the position of the particle at time t plus delta t is given by r plus delta r, theta plus delta theta. This is in the polar coordinates, that is radius vector is there and as well as some angle is there. So usually in xy coordinate we have to resolve the r into xy and z component, etc. So here we are not resolving, we are directly using the radius vector here in the case of polar coordinates. And in addition to that we have theta and again some angle phi is there. R theta phi considered for the polar coordinate system. So we are here, it is a plane, so we can consider only one angle and one radius vector. So this is the position at different time for this particular particle. So this is r here, you can say this is r and this is r plus delta r. The radius vector at a given delta t time is r plus delta r, and this is r here. So we can mark the position here. This is origin, or this is, we can mark some p and this is n. So this is r and this is r plus delta r. So we can draw a perpendicular here and make this point as n. This is perpendicular actually, this is the perpendicular here, and this consider the triangle OMN. OMN is a right angled triangle, right angled at this position M. So this is a right angled triangle with base r plus delta r is the base here. So this is the altitude here. This altitude can be given as some h. This altitude can be given as some h. So this is a small theta, delta theta here, since the position of this particle is at theta, from the origin or from the reference point, the angle of this r is, or this position or this radius vector is theta. So this is at theta plus delta theta, this position. So we can say that this is delta theta angle here. So the area of this triangle is given by, that is the area of OMN is given by, what is half BH, what is B here, H in, B is the base here, what is the base, R plus delta R into H, which is equal to half into R plus delta R. Then what is H? So what is H? For that we can find sin delta theta here. We can find the h here. For that we have to find sin delta theta. What is sin delta theta? H by r is the sin delta theta, h by r. So what is, since theta is very small, we can say that sin theta is equal to theta, since theta is very small. So delta theta is given by h by r, or h is equal to r delta theta. So we can use that here, that is this into h into delta theta, r into delta theta here. So this is equal to half into r square delta theta plus half into delta r, half into r into delta theta delta r. So then next we can consider the rate of change of this area with respect to time. According to second law of planetary motion, Kepler's second law of planetary motion, the rate of change should be a constant. That means the area swept by the radius vector should be equal in equal intervals of time. So we have to consider the rate of change and we have to prove that this is a constant. So that area we have to prove that we can take dA. This is actually area. This is, we can represent the area as A. So dA by dt is given by limit as delta t tending to 0, delta A by delta t as delta A by delta t, which is equal to limit delta t tending to 0 half into r square delta theta plus, we can take half outside, r into delta theta delta r. So what is the second term? R delta theta delta r. What is the second term here? So we have a small triangle here with the base MP. So what is this base? What is this quantity? Since we are drawing perpendicular here, this is actually delta r here. So this is delta r. So with the base MP, that is delta r, and with the altitude h, that is, what is the altitude here? Altitude h is equal to this quantity with r, delta theta is the altitude. So this is a small triangle here. So as delta t tending to 0 means these two quantities, that is delta theta and delta r, should also goes to 0 or will be a very small quantity. So in as compared with this quantity, that is r square delta theta, this r delta theta delta r can be very small. That means there is no contribution from this second part as delta t tending to 0, and consider only the first term, that is here it is r square is there. So we can say that this is equal to, that is dA by dt is equal to, what is this limit, half into r square into delta theta, limit delta theta by delta t, which is equal to half into r square into d theta by dt. We have to prove that dA by dt is a constant, that is the area swept in the given time should be equal to a constant. So in the polar coordinate system, the velocity vector is given by v is equal to, you just know this value or this point, that is the velocity vector in polar coordinate system is given by r dot r cap plus r theta dot theta cap. This is the velocity in polar coordinate system. So just remember this thing, that is position vector, the change here also a change. This is dr by dt, this is d theta by dt here. So then the angular momentum L is given by r cross mv, which is equal to r cross, or m we can take outside, which is equal to m into r cross, what is v is r dot r cap plus r theta dot theta cap This we can write as m into r cap cross r dot r cap plus r theta dot theta cap, which will be equal to this r cap cross r cap will goes to 0. The next term is r cap dot cross theta cap. That means that is equal to m into r square into theta dot into what is r cap into theta cap. This is the r direction, this is the theta direction. Theta is moving here to here, so this is the theta direction. So from r to, we can extend r to theta direction, means the direction of cross product should be out of the plane. So this is some k cap here, which is equal to m into r square into d theta by dt. Theta dot is d theta by dt in the k cap direction. So this is actually the angular momentum. So we can here also we have half r square d theta by dt. Here we have r square into d theta by dt. So dA by dt is given by, is actually, which is equal to Lz. L is actually in the z direction, so this is actually given by Lz. The model we can assign in Lz into k cap. So Lz is given by this term and this is the vector term k cap. So m r square d theta by dt is Lz. So we can write here what is the term r square d theta by dt. Lz is equal to m r square d theta by dt. So r square d theta by dt is Lz by m. So we can write half into Lz by m. That is dA by dt is given by half into Lz by m. What is Lz? We have proved that in a central force problem or central motion or central force problems, this angular momentum is a constant in both magnitude and direction. That we have already proved in the first part, that the angular momentum is a constant both in magnitude and direction. So this Lz will be a constant here. So the m is the mass of the particle, that again is a constant. So that means this dA by dt is a constant. That means the area in a given dt time, the area served by a particle in a given time dt time is given by, or in a unit time is given by, the change of area in a particular delta t time is a constant. So this delta t, if you are taking this delta t in this side, that is dA is given by this constant into dt. Because in a given time, that is in a given delta time, what is the Kepler's second law of planetary motion? In a given delta t time, the delta t is a constant. We can take any location in the orbital motion or the planetary motion or the central force motion, the position of the particle we can take at any location. So at a given particular delta t time or dt time, the area covered will be a constant. That is the second law of planetary motion. That is, the area served by the radius vector from the sun to the planet in a given time is same for any location of the planet in its orbit. That is the Kepler's law of planetary motion or the law of equal areas. So we can prove using the concept of the conservation of angular momentum, that is the torque is zero in the central force motion. So we can see that the torque is zero, that means the angular momentum is constant both in magnitude and direction. So we will get this value, that is dA is equal to, or dA by dt will be a constant. So we can stop now. The next we can do some examples for this torque acting again, that is the like sliding block etc. that we can do in the next class. Now we can stop. Thank you.